That's my little Simpsons thing. Hey folks, how you doing? This is Tachi. There's Yogi. We're out on another walk. We try to get out every day. Right, boy. This is our field where we go for walks. Nobody here, as you can tell. This is a campsite, actually. You might be able to see over there. I'll zoom in here. See the little fire rings and stuff. People actually can camp here. It's like boondock camping. And we're on Vancouver Island somewhere. And yeah, Yogs. And we're just having some fun here, trying to relax. And we've been using this RV lifestyle in our 34-foot Jayco triple slide with the triple bunks, and we've been using that to go to school because we're going back to university. And it's tough, man. I mean, life's tough. You know, university's tough enough. And it's tough being in the camper, but when I compare it to being in a house, I mean, let me just tell you quickly here. The last house we had as a family, we were buying, it was a ridiculously priced house, almost $700,000. And I was making pretty decent money, around, I don't know, $100 to $200 a year. And I started realizing that the house I was buying was just costing me so much money. I mean, it was costing me over $5,000 a month. And I mean, that, when you compare that to, you know, I mean, first of all, what I was making, I mean, 10% of what I was making, blah, blah, blah. And then, you say you should spend maximum 30% of your income. Well, I was spending like 40% of my income, maybe 50. I never really figured it all out, but I was spending a lot of money to keep this house. And really, what was I doing? I wasn't doing anything for myself. I was spending money like a mad fool trying to keep up to everybody else. Okay, now, partly that was me, and I'm a driven person. I like to do things, you know, that will get me ahead, and I like to go for it. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I like to go. I like to hammer. I used to ride mountain bikes and skateboard and snowboard, and when I was like 22, I broke my back snowboarding, and I continued on. I'm not paralyzed or anything. I continued on another, 15 years after that, until 12 years, until it really hit me. Came back to hit me hard. And I found out just a little while ago I actually broke my back, and that's why I'm in pain all the time, and I have to take heavy medication for it and stuff like that. But I'm not here to complain or beg or anything like that. I just want you guys to know why I'm doing this lifestyle. And it's because I don't really have an option. I mean, I have 2 little kids and a wife to take care of, and I'm on disability, and it doesn't pay a lot, and but we're surviving. I mean, anybody who wants to cut their bills down, I just wanted to compare the old house we were paying. It was costing me over $5,000 a month, when it came to the, $3,500 for the mortgage payment. We had a 3,000 liter propane tank that I would go through it in 2 months. This house had, 12-foot high ceilings. It was 4,500 square feet, and it was great in terms of, supporting what I wanted to do. It was on 5 acres, really nice. Location, totally private. I wanted to get back, get into farming. That's my heritage. There you go, buddy. 60 pounds of propane lasts us about a month. Okay, now that's in the winter when it's cold and it's, you got the windows open for the heater, for the condensation, and the furnace is rocking because you want to stay warm, but the windows are open and the fantastic fan is sucking all that air out. And there are some few tricks. What I like to do, what I've learned, is that if you want the, cold air by volume holds more moisture. So as cold air falls to the floor, my idea is that if you open up the fantastic fan on one end of the camper, and then you open up a fan on the other end of the camper, as far away from it as you can get, not a fan, just a window, a vent. The upper vent is what I use. So and for us, that's the kids' room. And so I'll crack that vent about 1.5 inches or something, depending if it's raining or not. You can still do it if it's raining. You just crack it a little bit, and then you have the fantastic fan on at the other end of the camper. The trick is, though, to keeping all the heat in there, instead of sucking it all out, the trick is to get the air to go along the floor, and that's the cold air. And then when it gets, so you close the doors, that's the trick. Close the doors, the hot air stays in the room, the cold air gets sucked down under the doors, along the floor, grabs the moisture as it goes, and in my experience, that's been the best way to keep the place dry. Like our fantastic fan in a 34-foot trailer with, 3 slides, it's pretty big for a camper. It sucks the moisture out of there in like, I don't know, 10 minutes? And that could be like if the windows were sopping wet. I mean, like, we're talking, from mad condensation to very little. I mean, there are spots. Another thing you need to do with condensation is open up all your little cubbies and stuff. Like we have some storage underneath the, hey buddy, we have some storage underneath the table. Most people have storage underneath their tables, and those areas are prone to, moisture. And we just found some yesterday. I was like, what? I mean, you have to kind of like, you should drill holes apparently. I've been told by some people that are experienced with this more than I am. We've been in it for a year now, but you should drill holes in the board that that the mattress sits on, like the foamy or whatever. You should drill holes in that and then pick up the mattress at when you leave and stuff. It's just to let it air out, or open the door, or you know what I mean, and a little cubby door or whatever. Okay, that stick is too small. That stick is too small. I just don't like throwing small sticks like that, Yogs. I mean, it's like, come on, buddy, go get a big stick. I like it when he gets me a curved stick, so then I can like step on it. And I can step on it, and then it'll come up to my hand. I like that because I don't like bending over. I don't like it. Okay, so anyways, back to the comparison. Let's look at hydro. Hydro in that other house would be about $600 every 2 months, which is actually kind of ridiculous, when you think about it. Like, I have ideas of, I'm a permaculturist, and I'm an aquaculturist, and I'm a computer guy, and I know there are better ways to live than to live on the grid. I mean, look at this place. Like, would you ever get a backyard like this in a house with nobody around to bug you? You could just walk, run your dog. Look, he's tired. He loves it. There's even a creek here. I'll take you over to the creek. And it's beautiful. I mean, like, anybody who thinks that living in an RV is going to be restricting, damn, dude, like, you spend so much time in a big house paying for the house and all the, all the stuff that goes in there. Thousands of dollars in beds and furniture and this and that and blah, 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 blah. You know what? When you die, are you going to take any of that shit with you? Excuse my language, but you're not. So, what's the point? I mean, it's nice to enjoy your life, I agree. And, I have a big chair. It costs me a lot of money, but, geez, one thing or a whole house full of things is basically what I'm saying. Which is sufficient for you. For me, I have found, I was always under pressure in that other house. Like, I had to work my ass off. Excuse my language again, but I really did have to hustle, and I'm a businessman. In a rural area where you don't have any connections and you're hustling all the time, I'll tell you, man, it gets pressure. You got to bring that money in, and you don't bring that money in, you're going to lose your house. So all that pressure builds up, and it was like, I felt like it was crushing me. I felt like I was going to have a heart attack, literally. I even, like, at one point, I think I did have a heart attack. I went in and got checked later, but they said it was, it was like 2 years after, but they said, yeah, your heart is definitely, like, you need to slow down. And I was taking, like, I don't even know, 3,000 milligrams ibuprofen and this muscle relaxer called Flexerol, which is pretty heavy. I was taking like 4 of those a day. My muscle spasms to slow down and just be, just so I could live. I mean, I couldn't even move for like years. Like, literally, I was lying on my back, stuck. And I realized nobody's out to come and help me. Like, my family supports me, but my kids and my wife, they we all love each other. We're together and we support each other, but nobody's there, like, financially or anything like that. Like, the government, they don't make it easy. I mean, you're living in a big house, they just say, sell your house, get the hell out of it. And if you can't afford it, you sell it, or, do something else with your life. So I really had to, I had to take my medicine, and I had to get rid of that house, get out of it, lost a ton of money. But now, life is not about pressure. It's not about pressure at all anymore. It's about this. It's about having a nice day and trying to stay calm and relaxing and not having people, you know, constantly pestering and wanting something from you and expecting something from you. I like this much better. This is my style. Go walk the dog. I'm setting up a server. I'm setting up a few websites for my interests. I'm trying to, you know, develop the internet for us as a family, and I'm trying to teach my kids coding and stuff. They're quite young still, but hey, where do you start, right? You got to start somewhere. Even if they remember HTML bracket, and then it has to be closed by HTML bracket. You know what I mean? Like /HTML. Okay, that's great. That's a great start. I mean, you know how to open and close a document. That's where you start. So I hope everybody out there that's in the RV lifestyle is like getting themselves on the internet, because we should be a community. The way I see it, most people that are living in RVs, if not everybody, is trying to minimalize their life a little bit. Like what I was saying about the pressure, I mean, it's not just me, and that's everybody, right? I mean, just look around, look at your neighbor. Do they look happy every day paying for that house? You know, I'm on Vancouver Island, and the prices here for a house, I mean, you could easily drop $600,000. I mean, easily. Like, not me, I would never do it again, but if you were looking for a house and you had the credit and the jobs, I got friends that are doing it. You got the job and they're beholden to someone else's, you know, beck and call and all the rest of it, and they can deal with that, right? I don't begrudge them that at all. If you can deal with that kind of stuff, you can deal with somebody telling you what to do all the time, if you can deal with sucking up your personal, you know, pride, and to me, it's my integrity, you know, give her. For me, I'm stubborn. I don't like giving control up to my, you know, in my life. I'm not that kind of person. I like to have control. I like to be knowing where I'm going, in control of how I'm getting there, and, you know, working on a plan. I'm not a real spontaneous kind of person. I like to plan things out. Not like mad. I mean, not to the point where it's going to hold me back, but just enough so that I feel comfortable in what I'm doing. I mean, you have to kind of like, you know, but you have to, if you're doing this lifestyle, you have to plan. I like to plan at least 6 months in advance. I like to know where I'm going to be the 6 months forward. I like to know what I'm going to be doing. I like to plan out, you know, how I'm going to spend my time, what my goals are, and how I'm going to achieve them. So, yeah, that's just me. But I think everybody should try to do that as much as you can, you know, unless it starts becoming a burden. This is one of my favorite little spots. I love this tree. It's this big old maple tree with some gnarly roots. It's actually probably like 4 trees in one, but it's 2 in one. Big giant maples. January, so no leaves, but these maples are awesome. Look at that color. I mean, that green is so beautiful, vibrant. It's the kind of stuff we should be focusing on. You know, get right in there. What's living in there? There's some bugs, and I mean, there's ecosystems. In this drop of water, there's an ecosystem, you know? Everywhere. And I think, you know, we should be focusing on stuff like that. I mean, you look at how it works. You zoom out. The macro is this giant, it's a creature, right? It's alive. It's a plant, whatever. It's a creature. It's got feelings and stuff, and you may not be able to express them, but I can guarantee you that these trees feel pain. Guarantee it. All plants, and this one too. You know, what's left of him, it's just a memory. But you know, these surrounding trees, like this one, maybe this tree remembers that stump being a tree. Maybe that was its brother. I'm sure it was. It's the same kind of, well, no, this is a cedar stump, but these maples, this is an old stump. This is an old stump. Look at the size of this thing. Yeah, I'll try to show you the whole thing in reference to myself, but it's like, okay, I'll get in here. I'll show you. It's a hollowed out stump that's just, there's not much left, but just these outside pieces of the tree. And I'll give you a view of me in the tree. Does that work? I don't know. I'll check it later. But yeah, this tree is built for people. See? It's even got a little walkway into it. The tree wants you to go there. I know it sounds kind of crazy and hokey and stuff, but I've felt so much powerful energy from standing inside a tree. I mean, some of the cedars here, there's a fire and, you know, forest fire or whatever. It could burn the inside of the cedar out, but the outside of the cedar will stay there. And so you'll have these big giant trees, and they're hollowed out from fire. So I've gone in there before and into the trees, just, you know, see or whatever. I didn't really thought I would feel anything different, but yeah, you do. Well, I did. I felt an intense energy flowing through me. Like literally, I felt like the tree was like hugging me. It was powerful. And these were huge cedar trees, probably, I don't know how many hundreds of years old. Who knows, 150 years old or more, probably. Beautiful. In this lush tropical environment, this rainforest. Pretty sweet in January. There's nobody here. Weather's great, you know. I was watching Line Screw 1, this channel, and I like that guy. He puts a lot of, you know, production effort into his videos, and he's doing what he wants to do, and yeah, giver. But he's in Vancouver, just outside of Vancouver, and I'm on the other side of Vancouver, on Vancouver Island, and it's warmer here. Just FYI there, Line Screw 1 if you're watching. It's warmer here than Fraser Valley. We don't get any snow. No snow this year. The mid-south island region. I'm not going to say exactly where I am because I don't want any weirdness, but yeah, this region is always temperate. And for me, with, you know, back spasms and arthritis and all that kind of stuff, I hate being cold. I don't like the word hate, but literally, when I'm cold, I can use that word. Because I feel like, I can't stand the cold, you know. I would do anything to be out of the cold. Try to stay warm and stuff. In Canada, I mean, I have frozen my proverbial tatas off many times, year after year after year in this country. Yeah, it makes you tough up to a certain point, and it just starts beating you down. You know, turning 40 this spring. I think it's time to, well, I thought it was time 2 years ago to move here, so that's what I did. But it's time to enjoy life and not suffer, you know, working up in the wastelands looking for oil, or climbing mountains looking for trees, or, you know, I've done all that stuff. I've done forestry work I was actually in charge of helping them grow back. Not planting them, but spacing their competition and stuff like that. Which used to be a great industry here in Western Canada.